The Nigerian Center presents Washington's Prosperity. Get involved today by supporting immigrant-owned businesses, donate to an organization serving immigrant families, and reach out to your local officials to support policies that protect immigrants. Enjoy the event.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Benga Gunjimi, the Executive Director of the Nigerian Center. I want to thank you all for coming to join us today for the official launch of the Washington Prosperity Campaign. Can we give it up for Washington Prosperity? At the Nigerian Center, we are deeply honored to lean fully into our core purpose, which is leading the Black immigrant community forward. This narrative shift campaign is our contribution to the ongoing national conversation on immigration, especially as immigration policies from the nation's capital continue to impact immigrant communities across the country. Washington Prosperity is a call to return to the enduring values, particularly the values of prosperity, and to acknowledge the indispensable role immigrants play as agents of that prosperity. Throughout this campaign, you would see the faces of Washington's prosperity. They are our city's realtors, restaurateurs, financial advisors, cultural architects, and so much more. We are especially proud to spotlight 5 Nigerian American entrepreneurs who exemplify the vibrancy and the resilience of our immigrant communities. These individuals represent not only personal success stories, but also a broader economic contributions immigrants make every day to our city and country. This campaign is now visible across metro stations, buses, trains throughout Washington, D.C. metro area. It is a celebration of leadership, innovation, contribution, and identity. It is a public reminder that immigrants are not only a part of Washington's story, they are writing it. We know that financial success may be accomplished in one generation, but prosperity, true prosperity, is multi-generational. For generations, immigrants have played an indispensable role in driving innovation, building thriving communities, shaping the moral and economic compass of Washington, D.C. Today, we celebrate those contributions. We affirm that immigrants are not just economic migrants seeking refuge. They are, and always have been, Washington's prosperity. And now, it is my great honor to introduce one of those agents, the face of Washington's prosperity, Dr. Gina Page. Gina is the co-founder and the CEO of African Ancestry, whose work profoundly connects Black America and the African immigrant communities. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Gina Page.
Thank you, Benga. African Ancestry is honored to partner with the Nigerian Center on this campaign. And not only is it a professional honor, but it's because of African Ancestry's work in reconnecting the forced immigrants from Africa and DC's immigrant community, but also personally, as I'm a DC native. I've been riding the metro since I was 6 years old. And so it brings it full circle and makes it feel like quite an honor. So thank you, Benga, for including us. A little bit about African Ancestry. We are the pioneers of genetic ancestry tracing for Black people around the world. And what that means is we focus on using DNA to reconnect people who are living here in the United States with their, and throughout the Americas and the Caribbean, with their ancestries on the continent. And while we hear of other companies that started doing this work long after we did, what makes African Ancestry so unique is that we focus on the present day African countries and ethnic groups that we descend from. And so I am proud to know that maternally I share ancestry with the Fulani people living in Nigeria, which makes the connection with Benga and the Nigerian Center even more fulfilling. We've partnered with several organizations across the city, particularly the Nigerian Center, in offering African language classes, Nigerian to be exact, Hausa, Igbo, language classes to people who are part of the African ancestry family. We've worked with the embassies here in the city, with organizations, companies like Mahogany Books, Birthright Africa, and others. So I'd like to congratulate you, Benga, on this campaign. Washington is the home of Black prosperity historically, and I think it's very important that we include our global Black family in this initiative. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Gina Page. Next, I am honored to introduce another face of Washington's prosperity, Tony Ijaudola, co-founder of the Continent DC, the very establishment hosting us today. Tony's leadership in food and culture space is crystal clear. He has made and helped create one of Washington's finest immigrant-owned restaurants, a shining example of food and cultural excellence in the nation's capital. Please join me in welcoming Tony Ijaudola.
Thank you, good morning. Definitely, obviously, welcome to the Continent DC. My name is Tony. I want to thank my partners that are not here currently, Mr. Charles Obu and Mr. Kingsley, because without them, this is not possible. Quickly, me and him and the two gentlemen got together. We wanted to bring something to Washington, D.C. To speak greatness of where we come from, right? As a student of this game and just started business, I've been in the business for 26 years. Understanding the true food and introducing the continent to the world through African diaspora. We get a lot of achievement done, a lot of businesses get discussed, and no better place to do it than in Washington, D.C., about four minutes away from the White House. If you look at our menu, it's very diverse. Even though we're all Nigerians, it speaks very loud and clear, but we still focus on the whole experience of bringing Africa to the world through great music, amazing food, flavor, ambience. So if you walk into our establishment, you're not gonna feel like you're from Nigeria, but you're gonna feel like you're from the continent, and the continent right here in the middle of Washington, D.C. So please, whenever you're in D.C., make sure you visit us. This is your home away from home. You don't need a visa to come here, and we definitely look forward to serving you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Tony. Next, I am also honored to introduce another face of Washington prosperity, Ifeoma Onia, founder of Cleopatra Winery and Vineyard, the very first African immigrant-owned winery and vineyard in the United States of America. Ifeoma has broken barriers and redefined excellence in an industry where representation is long overdue. She is not only making history, but also paving the way for future generations of African Black immigrant entrepreneurs. Please join me in welcoming Ifeoma.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much, Benga, for including me. My name is Ifeoma Cleopatra Onya. I'm the first African immigrant to open up a winery and vineyard in the whole USA called. So Cleopatra Winery and Vineyard was opened up in October 2023, but this was a childhood dream of mine. It started with a conversation that I had in person with my late father when I was like maybe about 8 years old. And fast forward to going to school in England, relocating to the USA, and 2012 lost my first brother, 2014 lost another brother. I realized one thing: life is too short. Why did I go into this? Actually, I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I also own Meister Medical Center, which is a mental health clinic that is based in Maryland. I'm in DC, but I'm actually a proud Marylander and a proud Prince Georgian. So Cleopatra Winery and Vineyard and Meister Medical Center and my nonprofit House of Cleopatra Foundation are all based in Laurel, Maryland. Why Laurel? Somebody asked me, I said, why not? It's where I have people that look like me residing. It's where I have a lot of children that I want to show that if somebody that looks like me, sound like me, can open up a winery and make it to become successful, to the point is now the largest Black-owned winery in Maryland. If I can get myself up every day and go into my vineyard and get on my knees and start pruning my vines, anybody can do it. Life is not just about looking fancy. Life is about looking at something that you're growing, nurturing it, getting it to the point that you can harvest it, turning it into a luxury. And I have to tell you, delicious wines to the point that we have 18 different types of wine. 2 of them are champagne, but because of the treaty between the US and France, we have to call it sparkling wine. I have red wines, red blend, Cabernet Sauvignon, Noré, Sauv Blanc, Sauv Franc, those wines that you see in the stores. And the reason behind the success to date of Cleopatra Winery is that I'm always in my tasting room because I'm always educating our folks on the privilege and the knowledge and the things that are hidden behind winemaking process and vineyard growing to show that we can do it. In the whole USA, we have over 11,000 wineries. Less than 1% are owned by minorities. So there's a huge discrepancy. So me going into this, it's one of those things that you wake up every morning and it puts a smile on your face. I'm telling everybody, young ladies, if I can do it, you can do it. That's the power behind the winery industry. That's the power behind agriculture. There's so many grants you can get. I haven't gotten one yet, but there are grants that you can get to be able to get into this business. There are offices, association, Maryland Winery Association. I believe DC have an association here that can help you too. And I'm just saying, whether you're Native American, whether you're an immigrant, this is an industry that needs us. We can't all be lawyers and doctors and sports people. Nothing wrong with those professions, but there's also a profession and a business in agriculture, in winemaking. So please join me, come to this end, and let's grow this industry. Thank you so much for being here.
And now we turn to a man that needs no introduction in Washington, D.C. He has an audacious vision of putting 1 million people in 1 million homes in Washington, D.C. area. Easy has helped countless families and individuals find their dreams of home possible. His commitment to empowering clients and building community through real estate has made him a standout figure in the real estate industry. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Easy Okoji.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. My name is Easy. The name of my brand is The Easy Way. My story is a little bit unique because I was born in the United States. Then right after I was born, about 3-4 months, my parents took me back to Nigeria. I was in Nigeria for 18 years until I arrived to the United States. So when I arrived to the United States, even though I was born here, it's like a fresh new country. And this was in the 90s. So trying to figure out which direction to go was very, very difficult. By mistake, I went into real estate. I went into real estate because I was living in a home in Washington, D.C., and I noticed that my landlady at the time was renting out different rooms in the house. And I realized she was making about $60,000 a year, apart from the job she had. And that's when I decided I was going to get involved in real estate. From the minute when I decided I wanted to do this, it took me 7 years, 7 whole years to buy my first property. And the reason why is because I had no mentor. I read all the books I could find in the library, but there was nobody there to guide me. So first thing I did after I purchased all the properties I had to buy, I decided I was going to start educating people about real estate. So what I do now is I host different home buying seminars every month. I spend a lot of my time educating the community about real estate through social media, to the home buying seminars. I'm actually having a home buying seminar this Saturday, if you guys want to stop by. So I'm really proud to be here today. And America has truly, truly helped me in helping my people and educating my people. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Can we give it up for Easy Way? And last but certainly not least, I present to you the face of Washington prosperity in Mr. Ayomide Ibrahim, founder of FinServe Pro Financial Services. Ayomide is a visionary entrepreneur who was redefining access to financial services for small businesses and underserved communities. Please join me in welcoming the financial advisor, Ayomide Ibrahim.
Oh, wow. Yeah, good morning, everybody. My name is Ayomide Ibrahim, and I'm a financial advisor. And today, yes, as you mentioned, I'm a CEO of a financial services company that we founded here in the DMV. And I'm so deeply honored to be part of this initiative. I'm not here only as a CEO or a financial advisor. I'm here as a proud immigrant that I see in this room. I'm a product of this very ecosystem that has provided opportunities just like this. I came into this country 8 years ago, and coincidentally, my second stop was here in the DC. I rode on a bus, and that's why I believe that one of the very profound way of sending our messages as immigrants to immigrants is the initiative we are doing right here. I thank the Nigerian Center for leading this initiative and creating, this very space where we can tell our stories. If we don't tell our stories, someone will tell them. And they will tell them in a way that doesn't truly reflect who we are. And thank you so much, Nigerian Center, for not sidelining, who we are, but, putting a spotlight, on we as a people. I refer to us as immigrant nations. Like I mentioned, I came in here, 8 years ago, and it took me no time to see what this country is. Let's face it, this is a country built by immigrants. And I tell everybody, if we can be in the past of this country, we can be in the future. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise. As it clearly states here, we are agents of prosperity. And that is why it took Mr. Benga here very less of a time to convince me over a year ago to be part of this initiative. I mean, I have a lot to say, but as I mentioned, I'm not here to school us about financial, success. But let me just tell you, who we represent as an organization. We are a financial services company promoting financial inclusion. I've never, ever been ashamed to say that we have bias for immigrants, because that's who I am. And Izzy mentioned how he's helping a lot of immigrants buy homes. This system wasn't built for us, even though we built it. It wasn't built for us. But how can we ensure that we can have a place in this system? It's through, initiatives just like this. I'm just going to go straight to my last message, which is for everybody here. And it says here, to every immigrant here today, your dreams are not burden. Our dreams are not burden on this country. Our dream are the future of this country. To every policymakers, I don't know how many, but I know my sister here is a friend to lots of policymakers. Let's invest, in the immigrant prosperity, because trust me, we had the future. And to every media, I don't know how many of us represent the media community here. Let's tell the stories the way it should be told. Let's reframe our stories so people can truly believe in who we are. I celebrate Washington prosperity today. Let's redefine who we truly are, because the future belongs to us. We have a place in the future of this country. There are so many rhetorics and so many noises out there. Don't focus on that. Focus on initiatives, moments like this that truly showcases that yes, we can do it. Thank you, Nigerian Center, for having me. And I wish us all the best. Thank you.
You have heard and you have seen the faces of Washington's prosperity. As one council member said, find me one American whose origin story does not start with immigration. We have seen what Washington prosperity truly is made out of. Our financial advisors, those who put us in home in the real estate industry, the cultural architects, and the host of them truly makes thriving communities. And we are so honored and proud to show you this face of Washington's prosperity. At this moment, I'm going to ask the entrepreneurs to please come to the podium, and we're going to start taking questions from the media. Entrepreneurs, if you please come to the platform.
Verbinga, what are some of the long-term goals or policy implications of this campaign?
Our primary goal for this campaign is to really shift the narrative. And as one of the speaker entrepreneurs said, there's a lot of noise out there. And there's only two ways you can tell a story. You can tell it from a deficit standpoint or from an asset building standpoint. So I think we have an opportunity to really celebrate the asset that we have in our community and really shifting that perception. And how does shifting that perception really translate into material reality for our communities? And really that is why we are gathered here today. We also think America is going through a redefining moment. It's in a moment of significant transformation and change when it comes to immigration. Policies like TPS, asylum policies, the employment-based visa policies, the tariffs. And for those of us in the immigrant community, advocacy community, I truly believe, and we truly believe at the Nigerian Center, we actually have a unique opportunity to help architect a whole new immigration paradigm. And the way we architect that paradigm is to show in America this phase of immigration, this phase of policy they may not have considered. So really that is what our hope would look like. We can see prosperity in every single one of us. And lastly, I should mention, one of Washington's DC core values, part of the DC values is prosperity and prosperity for all. And Washington, DC remains a thriving, welcoming communities for everyone to prosper and make a contribution. So we just want to tell that story and celebrate those contributions. Yes?
What was the process like choosing these 5 impactful community leaders?
Well, the question, what was the process of choosing these amazing leaders? I should mention, we didn't originally start out to find Nigerian Americans. It just happened. It just happened when we finished the recruitment and we look at the list. They all either have Nigerian ancestry, some of them are born in America, American, but there's common thread to Nigeria. And we at the Nigerian Center, I thought it would be a missed opportunity not to claim it. Yeah, so really that is really what happens. And also it speaks to the leadership of the immigrant community in the nation's capital. When you think about industry leadership, the faces, and you look at that origin story, it traces back to immigration. So I think that was the process.
This one is for Dr. Page. How does African ancestry help Black Americans and Black immigrants bridge cultural identity through DNA?
Thank you. So the way that African ancestry helps Black Americans and the immigrant community create a cultural bridge is through events, through education, through partnerships. I was just talking to my new cousin here about what can we do to help the African ancestry family learn about the winery, and how can we create an event that brings them out, that lifts up her business, while at the same time bridging the gap between what we hear about each other and what we know about each other to be true. So that's how we do it.
Yes, sir.
My question is, a component of prosperity is navigating the government regulatory system. How does your organization help these entrepreneurs navigate and partner with government as far as permitting and accessing capital from government entities?
Thank you for that question. The question was, how does organizations like the Nigerian Center, an immigrant serving organization connected here, how are we helping our communities navigate opportunities within government? Our core mission is fostering financial inclusion opportunities. And we do that through asset building programs. One of the first building blocks that either accelerates or hold back prosperity for immigrant and minority communities oftentimes is tax compliance. So we have a tax program that does tax filing for members of our community at no cost, at no charge to them. We do financial education programs. We work with the district business development agencies to understand government contracting, being certified as a CBE to be able to get both local and federal opportunities. But I think most importantly, the way we are our unique approach for demystifying prosperity in America for immigrants is the face, showing these people out here that if they can do it, if Ifeoma can be the first woman to create a winery in our community in the United States, so you can. So pretty much if you think about science and DNA and how complex and unimaginable that is, if Dr. Gina Page that looks like you and I can do it, every single one of us can do it. So that immigrant storytelling is one way we bring down the barriers for opportunities for every one of us. You wanted to ask another question?
Yes, I was actually going to ask what the expansion of this campaign looks like in the near future.
I would say, so the question was, what does the expansion of this campaign look like? How about Baltimore prosperity? How about Philadelphia prosperity? How about New York prosperity? How about prosperity across the country? And we go to every communities and say the phase of your local prosperity and collective prosperity, the architects of that actually are immigrant communities. So we are expanding this campaign nationwide.
To add to that, we talked about, so to add to that, Mr. Gbenga and I here talked about Atlanta. So don't be surprised when you see faces of entrepreneurs in Atlanta. In Atlanta, we don't believe that this should stop here. It shouldn't start and stop here. We have immigrants across the United States, and the basis of doing this, the main reason for doing this is telling our stories. I like how he ended. Helping entrepreneurs like us, when he was just here, that the most important part is we being able to share our stories. So when someone like you, who is, a woman to be, you're a lady right now, hears stories like that of Ifeoma here, that should embolden you. Right? So we take this to cities, to states, and hopefully other countries, can emulate this in helping immigrants. In countries like UK, for example, we have immigrants everywhere. Yeah, and I'm hoping that this would serve as a great platform for other countries like Canada. Thank you.
Do we have other questions for the entrepreneurs? Yes, sir.
Sharing stories is definitely great, but have you thought about sharing the actual process to get to the success that you all have achieved, especially for younger generations?
Yes, sir.
So that's a great question. Coming from someone that was born into a very poor family out of Nigeria, and first time here in the state in '98, first job ever. Took a job at Wendy's. Was making $4.35 an hour. For me, it was a lot of money back then, and it's still a lot of money, right? Having the American dream, and how do you get to the next level? And that's really why we're here, right? My goal at that point was to meet Dave, the founder and CEO of Wendy's. Fortunately, never got the opportunity to do that. That's the way. But I was able to save my $4 an hour to buy me a very dirty car at that point, but that was my Rolls Royce, right? And saving that penny, now I started selling cars from one car to another car. Now, with this same restaurant money. So I always tell people, it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what you sound like. It's what you have on the inside, right? You always got to make sure you surround yourself with great people. Things are gonna happen. A lot of people say Nigeria is these. Every single city you go to have its own challenges. But life is all about your own personal commitment and what you strive for. Like I said, Dave was my hero. He's not even, he's not from Africa. But just hearing what he has done, what he has built with Wendy's, now inspired me at a very young age to say I want to do the same thing for my community. 20, 25 years ago, nobody was listening to Afrobeat. Now, that's what you hear when you come to the continent DC, right? Nobody was speaking about our food, but you understand, we all go to Chinese restaurant, we all love this Italian restaurant. What's wrong with an African restaurant? Showcase our flavor, seasoning. You might have never been there, but you've seen it on TV. That's why I was saying earlier, you don't need a visa to come to the continent DC. Just walk in. Your visa is automatic, right? Now, what does continent DC do? Creating a business like this, now we're feeding a lot of families. Like our Dave gave me an opportunity and inspired me. In my 26 years of experience, I've had people that have trained up to become lawyers, doctors. That she said, Tony, you're still in the field. I'm like, this is what I do. I serve people. And once you have the power and the will to serve people, the sky is not the limit. Because now the more people you serve, like my doctor here, everybody just comes to support with love. My sister here, I've known her forever. To see what she's doing, very proud. And tremendously proud. I know her personally, so I know how the journey that she's taken to get there. And she knows my struggles, and I will get her. So we've shared the same stories. So don't ever let anybody tell you can't do it. No, that's not true. That is absolutely not true. That should be a drive and a motivation to let them know this is who we are. As immigrants, we can take it to the next level, and sky is not the limit. Thank you.
Also, in answer to your question, and I see where you're coming from, I think it would be a good idea to maybe perhaps follow us and do like a day in the lives, because it's one thing to talk about the prosperity that we're here now, but it's another thing to be able to show the young kids it wasn't all beds and roses. The road wasn't that smooth. Me, as a single mom of 2 kids, having to raise them up, relocating from the UK when I was my mid-20s with 2 kids. One of them my son turned 1 in this country. So now having them, my daughter is over here, she's an attorney. My son just graduated with his MBA and running my successful businesses. How was it that I got to this point? That's what you think that they want to know. That's the story that I think they should know. We all have our own website, so perhaps if you go to the Nigerian Center website, you can have a link to our websites. Contact each and every one of us. We'll take a time to sit down to talk to the young kids to say, you can't go to party every single day and expect to make money the next day. It's not gonna happen. You're going to have sleepless nights. You're going to work hard when everybody else is partying. You're going to work on the weekends when you really want to sit down on Netflix and chill, but you're going to be working. You're going to be working when people are sleeping. You're going to be awake, tending to the kids if you have kids, when everybody else, when they're sick. That's how you become, well, I don't want to say, prosperous. I want to say, that's how you become who you want to be. That's how you get your divine answers. That's how you get to the point where God has created you to be at. But you can't do it by sitting down on the phone calling your friend, girl, what's going on? No, you have to do those work. I don't think any of us here got to this point by not working hard. But the only thing is, get the clean steps to follow. Make I write down everything that you want to do. If you come to my office, I have stacks of yellow notepads. From the first day I started my businesses, I write down the date every day I come in, and I write down all the things that I need to achieve that day. Phone calls that I need to return, emails and as I do them, I check them off. When I talk to you on the phone, I take notes, because then you can refer back to those are the habits that you create that help you to become successful in whatever trade of work that whether you're still a student, whether you want to become a doctor, whatever it is, you have to do that. Those paperwork, those habits that you follow, and those single steps that you do every day, and you repeat it all the time, expand on it, makes it to become successful. So follow that, young kids, and we'll do this. Don't be too tired to get your hands dirty. Farming is good, makes you good money. Thank you.
Easy want to share how you're helping 1 million people in 1 million homes, and how you became the most celebrated real estate entrepreneur? The easy way.
I mean, they all said basically what I think every day. It's all about consistency and persistency. And one thing she said that I really loved is how she wrote down her goals. And no matter how crazy your goal is, I'm gonna tell you a story that happened to me recently. I saw an old picture popped up on my phone, and I had a t-shirt on, and the t-shirt said, the best real estate agent in the DMV, right? And when I looked at the t-shirt and the picture, I was thinking so small. The best Igbo realtor, like in the whole, instead of the best in the country or in the world, like why was I thinking so small? And even though I had that t-shirt on, I feel I actually achieved that dream. But what if I dreamt bigger? What if I had a t-shirt that said, the best real estate agent in the universe?
Wow.
I could be closing deals with aliens right now. You don't know. But just dream big. Like just set the bar so high where it doesn't even make any sense. Where it's not believable, but just write it down. So she wrote everything down and it came to part. So that's what I like to share. Thank you.
If you would agree with me, your question is so interesting that almost everyone here is addressing you. I have this to say. We come into this world as babies, and our parents start telling us stories. That is what this is doing. Stories are to inspire who is inside of you. So the question that I have for you is, who is in you? We have a winery. We have a restaurant owner right here. Easy here, close deals. He sells and buy houses. I'm a financial advisor. She runs an ancestry, agency. Our stories should link up with someone in you that you can develop, like you rightly said, and become. That is why we are having it. Yes, it starts with stories, but that story should speak to someone in you that you can wake up if that person is sleeping. And trust me, with that, you would come in contact with the right structure. Because when you have no idea of where you're going, you would attract anything. That's what a story should help you do. Identify who you are, and then make sure that that allows you find the path. And then you find the structure. And then you start building. And before you know it, you will become that person. It's gonna be so tough. None of us here had found it easy. I told someone I don't go to bed until 2 a.m. in the morning, almost every day. That's Tony here. In fact, I shouldn't even go into his story. Right? She just told you how she would go into a vineyard. It's tough, but it is worth it. And I truly wish you the very best. And I hope you found that person and you'll be prosperous with that person. Thank you.
Can we give it up once again for the faces of Washington Prosperity and amazing entrepreneurs? To Ifema's point, the website for the campaign is Nigerian Center /prosperity. You can read more about all the entrepreneurs, their businesses, and you can go support them. This brings the press conference to an end. Thank you very, very much for coming out today.
Here is how you can get involved today. Start by supporting immigrant-owned businesses in your community. Consider donating to an organization serving immigrant families, and contact your elected officials to support policies that protect immigrants. For more information, visit www.nigeriancenter.org/prosperity.